Blog Talk Radio.
Happy Monday. This is a happy Monday. A lot of people aren't working today. Isn't that cool? I'm your host, Pam Perry. Thank you for joining me today. You know, this show is a little different. It's a holiday, and I know all of that, and your labor is not in vain. Say you have this burning message inside your belly, and it's like, I know it's good. I know God gave it to me, and I'm just working and working, laboring and laboring, and I'm not getting anywhere. Well, this show will help unleash that inner expert and really unlock your dreams, okay? Last show, if you go back and listen to that podcast, we went over a typical marketing plan that I do for authors that we have on PR Retainer and some of the typical things that we do. And what I want to do today is really go back even before the marketing plan and talk about branding, okay? Branding is number one because even before you market, if you have a strong brand, it makes the sale so much easier. It makes your ideas go down so much smoother in the minds of other people. All right, so we're going to really talk about that. I want to thank everybody for joining us, 703-757-850, and there's a 111 there, and then those hanging out. If you have a question, just make sure you type it over there in the chat room, and then I'll answer it as well. If not, I'll always answer it on the blog on PamPerryPR.com, okay? So if you ever have any questions, you can always send me an email through PamPerryPR.com because today is kind of like I got the gun locked and loaded, okay? So I'm going to be going really, really fast. So hopefully you'll be able to take notes. Well, the number one thing is that we're going to be going over is the marketing plan that we went over before. We went through all the endorsements. We went all the things that we needed to do, targeting our audience, and all that's important. But really, let's talk about the brand and really more so talk about focusing on the message, not the product, all right? No one's really buying the product. They're buying the brand, all right? And your brand is your promise to your customer. It's really the perception of your overall persona in their mind, right? Every touch point with the public communicates that brand, your promise, your character, your personality. It's a strong brand position in the marketplace that makes it easier for people to do business with you. They gain trust, they're loyal, and you'll have continual sales through word of mouth. And we all know word of mouth is the best form of advertising, correct? So you want to make sure that you are building a brand basically so that people will learn to trust you. Trust can't be bought. It's earned. And branding is that thing that really is what will give the perception of trust and loyalty. In essence, a good brand is a 24-hour marketing machine. Companies have brands like Ford Motor Company, Nike, they all have brands. But a personal brand is a way to show the world who you are and what you can do. And you integrate that brand with your entire message, your promise, your look, your personality, your character, all of that. And so what I want to do is really do a brand assessment and analysis because the main thing I said is the brand is the perception that people have of you. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. So if you want to unleash your inner expert and unlock your dreams, here's some things to think about when defining your brand promise, okay? When you're defining your brand promise, what are you committed to delivering time and time again to each and every person that you work with? When dealing with people, how do you interact with them? How do they feel through the relationship? What do they get when they get you? What is it that they feel? And if they were to ask some of your clients or some of the readers of your book what it's like to, or some of the people that have heard you speak in audiences or in churches, what do they experience when they hear you or working with you? What would they say? And that's where we ended on the last podcast, talking about endorsements and making sure you're getting those testimonials. But the final thing is I want you to understand that a brand is a live thing. It's the heart and soul of you. It is your essence. It is your story. It is you. You heard Russell Simmons has a book called Do You. Well, this is you. And so in order to unleash that inner expert and unlock your dreams, it starts with building a platform and creating a strong brand. Okay? You have to do that. That is so. Now, before we had this Web 2.0 world, we had to do it through traditional media. And I'm not saying that traditional media is gone by any means. Branding in the modern world involves mainstream media as well as online. But online is so critical because we live in the world of search, SEO, search engine optimization. Can they find you? I always say being Google-licious. Are you Google-licious? All right? You can tweet that if you want. Are you Google-licious? So for people here today, let's talk about some of the things that you can write down to think about. It's a quiet day. It's a Monday, and a lot of people aren't working today. So these are some things. List 3 to 6 brand values that you have that is the heart and soul of your brand. How do people define you in the market? How do you think you're positioned in the market? Write that down. Think about that. And how does your brand make people feel when they come in contact with you? And then if your brand were really like a character, describe what would it look like, what would it sound like, and what would it be. All right? So those are some of the things to think about right now. Write that down on a separate sheet of paper. Get your little journal out and maybe think about that in terms of your core brand message, your brand story, all the things that involve your brand, your message, getting your message out to the world. Now, a lot of times when I'm dealing with clients and I'm coaching with them, they want to just get out there. It's like, Pam, can you just blast me out to the world? Can you put me on the radio? Can you put me on the TV? And I want to say, hold your horses. Before we even do that, we've defined our audience. We have really honed in on our brand. And then we're building our brand, right? And there's some things that when I do a brand assessment and analysis, some of the key things that you need in order to build your brand, to make sure that you're positioned as an expert and to make sure that you're going to unlock your dreams as that speaker, that expert, the person, the go-to person, right? So number one, and this is really where we left off on our marketing plan, is really having that internet marketing strategy in place. That really balances all of them that we talked about before, about the commerce, the content, and the community. So the internet strategy, making sure you have a good domain name, a good domain name, making sure that people can understand it, that it's a .com, all right? Making sure you have a good tagline on that in your internet. Making sure when we are doing that overall analysis of your brand, what color schemes are you using? It matters. For me, obviously, you know, I like a lot of hot pinks, all right? That is a fiery color. It's a color of red. It means excitement. It means energy. And it is one of my favorite colors. My office is hot pink, all right? I like it. It wakes me up, all right? You want to think about the logo, which is the face of your brand. A brand is not a logo. It's just the face of it. Take time to make sure that you have a really good logo. And we're working with a client right now that we're talking about logos. He says, I like this, I like that, but why do you like these different colors? One of the things that we do in the coaching class is we examine what colors mean. If it's green, why is it green? If it's purple, what does that represent? Is it royalty? Is it gold? Is it red? What are those colors? Not because it matches your building or because you have green in your carpet, you're going to go with green. What is it? All right, so you're going to integrate your entire look, your tone, your character, your personal flavor, your message, your promise, and you're going to project that to the public before we even do an e-blast, before we even do the TV and the radio and set up all those interviews for you. These are the touch points that you need to have in place with your brand. Number one, we talk about your home base, which is your blog and your website. Everyone needs one if you want to be known as an expert. I don't know of any expert that does not have a blog. All right? That is what people will do to develop their personal brand. It's an easy to remember, easy to spell domain name, not too clever, and typically it's your name. You are the brand. I'm PamPerryPR.com, not a .net, not a .biz, not a .org, not a .me, not a .tv, not a .mob. It's .com. Go and buy it now. You can go to GoDaddy and get your domain name. Buy your name. If you want to be known as expert, you should at least rank number 1 on Google for your name. With your website, not with Facebook, but with your own blog site, website. All right? Rank number 1 on page 1 of your own name. That speaks volume. If I put in Google in your name, and the only thing that comes up is a whole lot of Facebook and Twitter and MySpace or whatever you have, but I don't see anything with your name in it, per se, even if you have your company name, buy your name and then just forward it to your company name. You know, we could talk about how to do that. But a really nice layout doesn't have to cost a lot. We actually do websites for people, and those that are going to be in the PR boot camp, we actually are doing a website analysis because that's so important for SEO. You can download the free report on PamPerryPR.com. I tell that to people all the time. Read it. What is an SEO website, a search engine optimized website? That's the number one thing that people are getting wrong. That is the number one thing. Their websites are whack. They are not being found in Google. The layout is not easy to navigate. In your home base, you need a about page about you and the business or the book, and really the blog is really where you're actually creating the content and making sure it's easy for people to comment. You are making sure that it is laden with so much content that it really is the point where people are saying, wow, they really know their stuff. So you're going to share a lot of good content. You're going to, I have a friend that has a blog, and she blogs twice a week, and she ranks in the search engines like a rock star, okay? And she does it consistently, day in, day out. Watch, rinse, and repeat. She's blogging on her topic she's an expert in. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about you don't always have to write content. You can do video, you can do podcast, but I'm jumping ahead of myself here. The touch points, again, the number 1 is your home base. When people come to your website, they're going to see what else is going on with you. What is the blog saying? Number 2, a basic touch point for your brand. It's all matching from this standpoint. Your color scheme, your tagline, your core message, your logo, your business cards, your book cover, your email signature, your voicemail, your phone number even. If you can, be cool with your phone number. My phone number is 248-426-2300. Very easy to say on the air. 248-426-2300. Don't call me a damn night at home. I'm not in the office. After this, I'm out of here. You want to have a headshot that just speaks like you're a superstar, a personality shot, and a basic headshot, because you're using that profile pic all over, all right, into the other social media networks and social media platforms, building your platform using their platform. You want to have a Facebook cover that represents your brand. If you go to my Facebook page, you're going to know exactly what I do. If you go to Pam Perry PR on Facebook, you're going to know exactly what I do. You'll see that on my Facebook cover. Don't not take advantage of that. Make sure you're very strategic with that. The same thing with your Twitter background and your YouTube background. We do that type of thing. It's called SMO, social media optimization, making sure you're optimizing those platforms for your brand. Something as simple as business checks, making sure that those are very well received. You know how many people are looking at those checks? And your messaging. The messaging, the content strategy is so important if you want to really unleash the expert in you. You want to blog. Obviously, we talked about that, and I can do a whole show on what it is that makes a really good blog. But you want to make sure your emails are matching, your tweets, your status updates, your Instagram, your podcast, your videos. You're going to be doing what I call a brand check on every single touch point. If it doesn't go with your core message, your brand essence, if it's not really defining who you are, if your email, if your email signature and your blogs and your tweets and your status update, don't be random. That is the thing. Experts aren't random. They're not random. It is very strategic. Okay, I know a lot of people work 9 to 5 and say, I don't have time to think about that. You need to get a coach then. Somebody's going to keep you accountable. Because if you really want to do this thing, you need to do it right. All right? So every touch point, every autoresponder, every thank you page. If someone's going to buy something from you on your website and they go to PayPal, you should have that PayPal page at least branded with your logo, your tagline, every touch point. You think Nike doesn't think this through? You don't think so think of yourself as a little small corporation. You are the brand. If you do a video, you can actually have that edited where you have a little video bug in the corner. It's like it's your station. Or at least at the bottom of the video, have your website down at the bottom through the entire website. You know, there's a way that we show people in the PR boot camp of really how to making sure that your websites are optimized so that it actually gives backlinks right back to your website automatically, doing that HTTP. Your letterhead envelopes, obviously that's part of the branding. That's so simple, but you will be surprised how many people have envelopes or letterhead, which we do more email now, but making sure that font matches, the color schemes matches, and the same with CD and DVD covers, return labels. All of that matters. If you're going to speak, which is a whole other branding realm in itself, but make sure that if you're speaking, that you come prepared. Everybody has this message inside of them. I want to get my message out to the world. I want to speak to teens. I want to speak to women. I want to speak to young men. I want to speak to people who've been abused. I want to speak to people who are grieving. I want to speak. Okay, so you're ready. I'm calling you to speak. What do you bring besides yourself and the message? You should bring a podium cover or a sign, a stand-up sign. Maybe bring a table cover for your product table. Bring in a sign-in sheet that has, again, your logo on it. Never, ever, ever give out something for free without asking for an email or other contact information so you can follow up. Always offer something for free, even if it's to sign up for a free teleseminar or something they can download from their website, but offer something free in exchange of building your email list. That's what this whole point of it is really building a tribe, building a platform, building people that want to hear what you have to say, people who raise their hands and say, yes, I like what you're saying. Put me in your program. I want to hear more. All right, so you want to make sure you're doing that. You want to have entry signs already done. Have these already done. Sometimes you can create your own event, and people are stumbling, trying to find their way to your particular room. Have entry signs. Don't be ghetto and do a little, marker, Sharpie. Don't do a little Sharpie, put it on the window. That is so, no, don't do that. Have professionally done. You can go to something very simple as like a sign shop or Kinko's. And if it's your book cover, make sure you laminate that you have that up, you have that in maybe some acrylic signage there, but you want to make sure you're having very good entry signs, sign-in sheets, podium cover, banners, table covers, posters. Those are important. If you're speaking, your handouts are branded, that they have your website on, your contact, your manuals. Those are the things that I'm talking about, that when you are an expert, you're doing those things, that you're not looking like, I didn't think about that. Because as a professional, as an expert, you are. And always follow up every speaking engagement with a note or some kind of offer to everyone who attended. If you can't get the listing of everybody attended, ask the host of the organization. And making sure, if you have the book, reduce the price for the people that attended the event. Because giving an incentive for them to pick it up right there. So say your book is normally $15 for everyone who comes to the event, make it $10. And then making sure that you have their contact information so they can give you, again, endorsements and testimonials, putting them up on Amazon, putting them up on your website. One of the key things, a little secret to tell you, is make sure that you put an ad in all the registration materials. If they have a program book, ask the host if you can put an ad in there. Again, that's branding you. Making sure that you have signs for your table. Making sure that at your table that you have information there for them to pick up. Where there is flyers, that they can contact you for more information and order your book or get the free newsletter. Those are the things. That's just one area, all right? We're not even talking about the Internet strategy at this point. If we're talking about offline strategy, there's some other offline strategies that you can do. Because I'm not all about online, there are some offline strategies that you can do as an expert to brand yourself, to making sure that you are moving your platform forward and that people are becoming aware of you and you are getting out there. Something very simple. We all drive a car. How about a vehicle sign? How bold do you want to be? How bad do you want it? Yes, get a magnet. Put a vehicle sign up against there with your website. Hopefully your website's not whack. It'll work, all right? Because if they go to your website, they see what you're about, they see your tagline, and it's like, I really need that information. They go to your website, they're part of your list. You're growing your list to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. Oh, come on. If you got 5,000 people on your email list who've opted in and said, yes, I want your information on a regular basis, you're blogging, you're doing videos, you're doing podcasting, oh, you're on your way. Another offline thing you can do, especially if you're an author. I tell this to all my authors. Get your book cover that you spend so much time on. Make sure that that's selling before people even buy it. They look at it and say, I want that book. Okay, you spend a lot of time and money and thought on that book. That is the brand of the face of your brand, that book. That's your signature book. Put it on a T-shirt. Put it on a T-shirt and wear it. Don't worry about selling it. You wear it. You become the brand. Folders. You want folders. It's amazing. I produced a TV show, and how many times I would get so many press kits from people, and they would just be slapped together in a little 99-cent folder. But if you have a professional folder already done, you can go to something as simple as Vistaprint, my goodness, and have them print one up, and just have those so that when you're doing presentations or it's your speaking kit, you have that professional folder. That's what experts do. That's what professionals do. Newsletters, obviously that's offline. You want to have something that mail. We get so much email. You would stand out if you mail something. You mail a postcard. You mail a newsletter. You mail a brochure. That will really would stand out. And have a signature gift. I had a client one time, her last name was Reese. And her signature gift was Reese cups. And so it was really cute. Whenever she would go and speak, she would put the little mini Reese cups on everyone's chair, her table. They would remember her name. Her last name was Reese, spelled the same way. Very clever. So in this day and age, you've got to be creative. You've got to be clever. You have got to learn how to just put it out there. I'm so excited about this because I see all the people that are signed up. You know what? You can do this. All you need is someone that will coach you to help unlock you in order to unleash that inner expert in you. Now, one of the main things, too, that I always tell people is that the Internet strategy, all right, we've got the blog. That's the hub. That's your home base. That's what you're going to do. That's where you're building your audience. You're offering something for free. You're doing the autoresponders where you're actually offering the gift and people are actually receiving it and they're getting on your list. So now, how do you do the other things? You're going into the social media platforms. You're setting up the Twitter account. You're learning how to use that. You're doing the Facebook. You're learning, and you're automating your blog into Facebook and automating your blog into Twitter. Because, listen, if you don't have a blog, doing social media is stupid. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Because the whole point of it, Twitter is a microblog. So if you don't have a blog, what are you doing? What are you doing? And make sure that when you set up your Twitter account and they ask for the website, that's there for a reason because that's giving a backlink back to your website for people to come. It's your home. The social world is social. Your home base is your home. We're going somewhere socially, but our home is where we actually live, right? So if Twitter or Facebook were to leave tomorrow, all those contacts and everything are going to be gone. You want to set up a Flickr account for photo sharing. You want to set up a YouTube account for video uploading. You want to do Dig and StumbleUpon. But all of those things are just minor. LinkedIn, obviously. And one of the things, too, I'm going to tell this, I've got a few minutes. If you're going to comment on blogs, which I know you should, you're going to identify 10 blogs that you're going to comment on, read and comment on. Make sure that you do a gravatar so that your picture shows up. and you have the dome, and you have the picture show up, and it actually gives a backlink back to your page in Gravatar, GAVARTAR.com. All right, Gravatar. And that's just something very simple, because if you're blogging, your picture shows up, your website, people can then see your Gravatar, meaning your bio. Again, that's part of your brand. All right, you're making sure that you're doing that. Now, a lot of this, the internet thing, that is all, you've got to do that. That's building content, you're building conversation, you're building a community. That is very important. You're going to watch, rinse, and repeat and do that. I can show you how to do that very quickly. Sign up for the PR Bootcamp. The next few minutes, I'm going to actually talk about some of the things that you can do for your media, to get actual traditional media. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to come back and we're actually going to do that, all right? So we'll talk about how to really use mainstream media, how that still counts, and the 3 things that you need to do in order to get that.
Get ready for the Ultimate Author PR 2.0 and Platform Building Bootcamp. It's time to dispel the myths and reach for the truth. Get the nitty-gritty on what it really takes to be a best-selling author. Award-winning PR coach Pam Perry, as seen in Black Enterprise, The Word Network, Gospel Today, and Radio 1. Pam will take you by the hand and show you step-by-step on how to be a best-selling author. Get the insider secrets and systems to build your platform, create a media list, and leverage social media quickly and easily. Go to PamPerryPR.com for details on how to build a platform, establish a brand, and position yourself to become a best-selling author. All enrollment information is available online at PamPerryPR.com. Don't miss your chance to be a superstar.
Hey, you know what? That was a great spot. That was my husband. If you need a voiceover, Mark Perry is available. One of the main things, and this is what I had in my office do, is to write a regular column in the newspaper. Not only will it be in that local newspaper, but it'll be on the blog, which is worldwide, and it's going to get their blog online, gets more traffic than yours. So do that. I do that regularly for all of my authors. I said, if you're in Michigan, if you're in Florida, Pastor Rosalind, she knows about that. She's getting so much traffic just writing her content, repurposing the content from her book, all right, into columns, into tips articles. And this is how the blogging thing really works. You got to learn how to do that. The other thing, the important thing to remember about mainstream media is that if you don't really understand how that media market works, okay, it is no reason in the world, in the world of Twitter and Facebook, that we don't know what the media is looking for, how to Google them and find that. Building relationships with reporters on Twitter is awesome. I give people all the Twitter names of all the reporters that are really in the market that they're looking for. It's very simple to do. It's how you build your personal brand, building relationships with the media via Twitter and via Facebook. And then think about writing those regular columns for that newspaper and hosting your own radio or TV show or doing a segment on a radio show. Call up the radio station and say, hey, I'd like to do a minute segment on, and whatever your topic is. Give it to them. Tell them the idea. Show them a podcast that you've done or a teleseminar that you've done, how you sound on the air, and tell them you'll do it for free, that you will do the little minute moment for them, all right? Go through the talk radio stations and tell them that, or even some of the stations that you listen to. And then also, too, host your own TV show. Go to the cable stations there in your area. They have local access. Get skilled, get trained, and do your own local TV show. Get that and then repurpose that back on Vimeo or YouTube and make sure that you're doing that on a regular basis. If you have content, the first place is making sure that it's getting out of your head, and it's not just about the book, but it's actually disseminating online in a blog. Whether the blog is actually going to be just written or you're going to speak it in an audio, or whether you're going to do it in a video or a combination, or you're actually hosting other people in telesummits or teleseminars. I've had clients that have done that as well, as creating synergy energy for that as well. But if you don't know how to do this, is hire people that will help you. All right? There is nothing, if you have it in you and you have it's like you want to go to that next level, you've got to learn how to say, okay, I'm going to actually have someone help me on writing press releases, having someone do my newsletter, setting up my autoresponder, helping me with the podcasting, or helping me edit my video, or even putting together the website, and that's something that we do as well. But download the free report at Pam Perry PR about what is an SEO website, all right, making sure that you do that, all right, because that's the first stop to really building up that audience. There's so many other offline things that you can do as well, because you want to make sure that you're meeting up with people and that you're really building that credibility, you're building that visibility. You are making sure that at every touch point of your brand that you are saying what it is that your core message is, that people get you immediately. That is so, so key. So you want to make sure that content is king. People who create content regularly, I would say at the minimum, how often? At least 2 to 3 times a week. And mix it up. They can be how-to, they can be interviews, they're just things that are original that you're pulling from your book that is your expert material. So you want to make sure you do that. So I want you to live your dreams. And a lot of times we're just sitting there and it's like, I don't really know how to get started. You get started by, one, going to download that free report on PamPerryPR.com and reading that blog. All right, I tell you step by step really on some of the things that you need to do. So blogging, making sure you're doing that, doing the Google Analytics on it, having the right plugins, making sure it has the mobile ready, because that's going to be very, very important. Make sure you're collecting the contact info, that you have that opt-in box, making sure that it's the right domain name, and then at that point you're engaging in Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Foursquare, all of that, Instagram. You don't do that until you have that home front ready. And that's how you really become the expert, because if you look at all of the experts, the social media superstars, they have those HubSpots down, all right? And they automate a lot of this stuff. I use different tools and things like that, and I give people a lot of the tools that we use. That makes it very, very easy, shopping carts and all of that. So thank you so much for joining me today. This has been awesome. This has been awesome. I want you all to do this thing, making sure that you focus on your message, not the product, all right? Making sure that you are putting your best brand forward. So you all have a great day, and you brand your best life, all right? Have any questions, email me, Pam at PamPerryPR.com. All righty, God bless. We'll talk to you later.